Liberty is one of those things that I think it's easy to undervalue until it's threatened or gone. And it does seem very pertinent this year because, I've noticed, and millions of other people have noticed, certainly that in the West, the liberty and the freedom that we have taken for granted for such a long time is slowly eroding. And it's being eroded in ways that I think many of us didn't expect. I'm talking about conflicts that we didn't sanction, action by corporations and large institutions and government bodies that aren't subject to the normal scrutiny that perhaps we thought they were. And it's really easy to think that that's the concern of radicals and that kind of politics isn't personal and that we don't have an impact on it. And of course we do. And it's really important that we recognise that. And what better year to recognise it than this, in which we celebrate the anniversary of the Magna Carta.
To me, freedom means the ability to choose how to live your life.
To me, freedom is being able to live whoever you want. And I live Millie.
I think we as a species are terribly guilty of taking things for granted. One thing we take for granted is the quality of our water. We turn on the tap, we waste it when we're cleaning our teeth. In the summertime, we pour 50% of this water onto our lawns in our garden. And yet you can journey by plane for a couple of hours and go to a country where you just simply can't drink the tap water. Nothing can live in it. The rivers are all desperately polluted. We take that for granted. But I think the most dangerous thing that we take for granted in the UK is our liberty and the democracy that we have, the framework that supports that liberty. And when you think about it, you don't have to go far in Europe to see repression and oppression of peoples who aren't free to speak their minds or to ask for the things they believe are their right. And you turn on the 10 o'clock news and there are people dressed in the same clothes, wearing the same T-shirts. They don't quite speak the same language, but they're at the same point in their history, and yet they're entirely decapitated when it comes to their ability to exercise that basic freedom. We can vote in this country, we can stand up and shout. You can do that in a public park. You can get a box and you can stand on a public park, and as long as you don't shout too loudly and you don't use profanities, you can express your opinion about anything you like and no one can stop you. That is something which shouldn't be taken for granted. That's something that should be jealously cherished. Because if we move away from that, that will be a tragic loss for this nation. We do still have that ability. I just think we ought to exercise it a bit more. We ought to get a few more boxes. A few more people should stand in the park and shout on those boxes without using profanities. I'm a box shouter. I've always got something to shout about. And that's because I can exercise my liberty.
Freedom to me means the ability to be your own person.
Freedom is the power or right to act, speak or think as one wants.
Freedom to me is the power to embrace who I am. Freedom entitles me to an open sexuality, and it entitles me to the education that I deserve. I can associate with the people who I choose to. I can wear the clothes that I want to. I can even watch my favourite films over and over again, no matter the content. Freedom gives me a voice through art, and it gives me a voice through language, both written and spoken. I can think and say exactly the same things without hesitation or fear. Freedom to me saves me from a life in prison, or being put to the death penalty purely because my opinion represents an open mind.
To me, freedom means being able to have equal opportunities in life.
Some people talk about liberty, that it's a responsibility too big for people to handle. If you're not told what to do and you have to make your own mind up, you have to carry the responsibility for that. I see liberty in a different way. I equate liberty to peace, because it's not like you can do everything all the time. Liberty allows you to do so many things that you can't never fulfill. It's simply the prospect of being able to choose what you want to do that is a great weight off your shoulder, and to me, it's a peaceful place to be.
Recording.
Freedom to us means to have choice.
I consider freedom as a way people have a right to talk as they want, to think as they want, to act as they want. I think people should be able to do whatever they want to in their lives, even if it's dressing differently and not following the rules or whatever. But I think it's very important that people are able to have access to freedom, because this makes people different and unique, and I think it's very important.
Freedom to me means a natural society.